What is going on, FA Nation? John Pepe here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. Today we are taking a look at the Monday 6-game main slate that starts at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Here, your guy James Grande will be on the Playbook for Monday. So this is our first look reaction here on this 6-game main slate. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button over on the YouTube page. It's a free way to support the work we do here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. And this is the beginning of our 5 p.m. live show. Our live show now moves from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time starting this week. A little extra time to get all the lineup news, notes, and weather information into us here before we go live. So make sure you set your clocks, set your alarms. Maybe a better way to put it there, Grande. For 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be live to answer all of your questions here. James, my buddy, how we doing, man?
How many alarms do you wake up with? Like, if you had set an alarm, are you a one alarm guy or do
Yeah, I'm
you
a
like
one
multiple
alarm
alarms?
person, but my wife is a 14 alarm person. So, like, yeah.
Me. Oh
And
my god,
it's not even like an one alarm snooze. It's like one alarm. It's 14 alarms that all also get snoozed. So there's like,
yep, same.
I get up one though. I'm good with one alarm, and sometimes I'm even up before the alarm. So like, yeah,
Ooh, wow, that's
I'm
a
a
true
morning
talent.
person though. I'm a morning person. I'm not too hard with it all. So
You're just an awake person.
also true. Also true.
You don't discriminate between being asleep. You're just awake. Like you're just always
There's a good chance at any point in the day, if you ask me a question in the Discord, you will get an answer no matter the time. So,
awake.
yeah, that is all true. Let's talk about this slate, though. We got 6 games here. Some pretty good pitching. Dylan Cease up at the top against the Oakland Athletics. Logan Gilbert against the White Sox. Rodon gets Kansas City. Lugo gets the Yankees on the other side of that. And Jose Barrios against the Brewers are your top 5, 6 starters here. Talk about Cease and Gilbert in their matchups because obviously 2 of the more favorable spots on the board here today.
Yeah, I think both are extremely solid plays. Dylan Cease obviously has a very high ceiling, although kind of, kind of looks like last year a little bit, this
Sure.
latest stretch. And last year was obviously not a good season for Dylan Cease. Or should I say, not a good season for Dylan Cease last year.
Sure.
That was a good one. Come on.
Yeah. The home run
I
ball's been a problem, obviously. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of home runs lately. On the road, 3 of the last 5, facing New York, facing Atlanta, Kansas City, we know has been tough. The Angels one is probably a bit surprising. Like the Angels should have been an easier matchup
Yes.
for him, given their numbers against right-handed pitching. Yet he gives up 2 home runs, only 4 hits allowed, but 2 homers result in 3 earned. Does get the quality start, gets the 6 strikeouts. Doesn't get the win, so you're stuck under 19 fantasy points. You're spending over $10,000 for him here, but it's a matchup against the Oakland A's. So again, I think they know what the second highest, third highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. They don't rank really well offensively against right-handed pitching. So you would think a ceiling game would be had here.
Yes, second highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching, fourth lowest OPS to your point. So I like both the top 2 names quite a bit, Cease and Logan Gilbert. Obviously, the White Sox offense has been a little bit better of late. A lot of home runs since the return of Luis Robert, not directly because of Luis Robert, but Andrew Vaughn, Gavin Sheets, Paul
Yeah.
DeYoung, Corey Julks. They've all actually kind of stepped up a little bit, and the White Sox have won a couple games. But obviously, this is a great spot at home against the worst team in baseball. And the one thing you know about Logan Gilbert is he's going to get you deep into games. I would say, just to pay off 9,800, we need the beginning of the year Logan Gilbert where he was missing bats.
Yeah.
Not the guy that has 5.54, 1 strikeout in his last 4 games. So I like Gilbert. We just need the strikeouts.
Yeah, or the wins, right? It's 3 and
Or the
4 on
wins.
the year. He hasn't gotten a win in his last. When was the last time he got a win? May 4th was the last time. Over a month ago was the last time he got a win. A couple of no decisions and 3 losses during that stretch there. So you get the win. Obviously, that makes his fantasy points look a little bit nicer. Yankees versus Royals here. What are your thoughts going into this matchup? Is this a full fade for both starters? Rodon's obviously looked pretty good. You've been a big Lugo fan for obvious reasons this season, but the Yankees lineup has been pretty good as well. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, The Royals don't strike out against lefties, and they are 6th in OPS. They have a 156 team ISO. That's about a little better than league average. So summers in Kansas City, we know the ball travels quite a bit, so it's going to be hot. Obviously, I'm okay. I would say the one thing we know about Rodon, you want to talk about win equity.
Sure.
Obviously, when you look at Carlos Rodon, 6 straight wins, been great in all the starts. Some of these spots, I mean, he beat the Angels, a team that is really good against left-handed pitching. Beat the Twins, team good against left-handed pitching. Beat the Astros, team good against left-handed pitching. So,
Yeah.
if you want to pair that with $8,800 is probably too cheap for Carlos Rodon. I'm okay with it. And I'd say like Lugo obviously coming off his worst start in one of
Mhm.
the tougher spots he's been in all year. Cleveland obviously one of the best records in baseball. Um, but the Yankees we'll see where Soto is, right? We
Right.
still are kind of in the air with whether or not he's going to hit the IL. I mean, he was swinging a bat, but we don't know. Boone left it open, like could be on the IL, but could be back in the lineup
Right.
days. We don't know. So, it's a there's now talks of Anthony Rizzo getting flat out benched, and he's like 1 for his last 30. So things aren't all good. Volpe, Judge, Soto are great.
Yeah.
Everything else is very up and down. So you could definitely get to Lugo 8,400 for a guy who is what top 3 in Cy Young right now, top 4 in Cy Young. You're not going to find that very often. So,
No. Royals are plus 110 at home, Yankees minus 130, so pretty close. In terms of Vegas odds in this one. Yankees are the top offense against right-handed pitching, but again, you mentioned no Soto takes a big punch out of that lineup. I'm not going to bitch Berrios. I get the 2.8 ERA, but Milwaukee is right below the Yankees in terms of numbers against right-handed pitching, and Berrios. If you're looking for like the splits for him, a little bit of worse against lefties, obviously, and a whole lot of lefties in the Brewers lineup to do some damage against him. Just not a spot I'm going to go. The price is nice. I like 8K for Jose Berrios, just not the matchup for me that I'm going to go and throw him here.
yeah, I'd rather just play Eric Fetty right below him at 7,800. When you're talking about strikeouts, he's had a lot. He continues to miss bats 7, 8, 6, 6 in 4 of his last 5 games. And he continues to basically be productive in every start but Toronto. Even in the games where he's like kind of struggled, 9 hits against the Brewers, 4 earned, and still gets you double-digit fantasy points.
And what do we talk about, right? It's like, oh, some of these guys have good starts, but like there's some regression indicators. Not really here. He's got 3.27 ERA. His expected ERA is 3.38. His xFIP's 3.50. His FIP's 3.50. So he's pretty much pitching to the pitcher that he is. He's got almost a 9K per 9. He went to the KBO last year, won 20 games. Obviously figured something out over there, and has come back and has been a much better pitcher, this season than we've ever seen him when he was pitching with the Nationals. So for sure, be on the lookout for the underdog prize picks and sleeper picks for tomorrow. We'll probably be once again targeting some strikeout props picks here against Seattle. What are our thoughts as we go down? Obviously, smaller slate, so the pitching options get shorter. Are you in on Kyle Harrison against Houston, Paddock against Colorado? Joe Yestis has the Padres here. Like, is there another pitcher that you're looking at on this slate?
I mean, I think that we have to take a look at something. I do think Paddock is a little bit interesting. Obviously, coming off a really, really bad start.
Yeah.
Is that product of facing the Yankees? I mean, he's faced the Yankees twice, and he's gotten shelled by them twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is also when you look at. I mean, this has been a pretty brutal stretch for Paddock in general.
Yes.
Yankees, Royals, Rangers, Guardians, Yankees. I mean, that is not fun. The start prior to that, 10 strikeouts and 5 1/3 against Seattle, 6 scoreless against Boston the start before that. Like, there has been pretty solid upside. And you talk about, you want to talk about like peripheral numbers. He has a 5.26 ERA, expected ERA 4.20, xFIP 3.82. Like, he's just had a really tough draw with the matchups lately.
100%.
And this is not one of them. Colorado's bottom 10 in the league against righties. They strike out a bunch. So, yeah, I think Chris Paddock at 71 makes sense. And I think the Padres are really scary right now. Their offense has really woken up of late. But obviously, S is coming off the start he had. in back-to-back games, really. And if you want to even go even a little bit further, Colorado even 7 innings, like he was
Yeah.
fine. So there's a little bit of strikeout appeal with Estes. He's been pretty good in the 5 starts, 4+ in all five. And in games where he's at least finished 5 innings, he's had at least 5 strikeouts. So I think at 6,800, he's fine. But I think Paddock for me would be the punt that I would be looking
Yeah, Paddock was my guy as well. He's also a big favorite here. They're minus 210 home favorites in that matchup. So, got to think there's definitely some win equity there. And 100%. I mean, he's got a sub 2 walk per nine, 8.5K per nine. Those numbers are really good. And as you mentioned, all the peripheral stats indicating that, like, yeah, man, you had to face Judge and Soto twice in a 3-start span. So, that will happen to you. At catcher, again, we don't need to expand too much here. We generally look for the cheapest play and kind of move ourselves along. I will mention that the home run came to an end for Yainier Diaz. We had 4 straight games with homers for him. He's 3,700, but a lefty on the mound and Kyle Harrison. We like the talent of Kyle Harrison, but this isn't necessarily the matchup probably for Kyle Harrison to find success in. Does benefit from the better home ballpark instead of being in Houston. They're in San Francisco, but you got him, Yainier Diaz there at $3,700. Certainly going to fit some builds. What else are we looking at for catcher for you?
Giants catchers, whoever's in the lineup.
Sure.
And that's Higashioka has been on a little bit of a home run tear himself, which he always goes on in random spurts.
Yep. So we'll be getting live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully, we'll have some more official lineups out for everybody, and we'll be able to nail down some of these starting catchers for our example lineup. Moving on over to first base, Vlad Guerrero is your top price guy here, 5K. Vinny Pasquantino, lefty on lefty against Rodon at 48. Luis Arraez at $4,600. You mentioned Rizzo already. Hoskins. This is not a star-studded first base tier with 6 games on the board. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think Arraez is weirdly enough the best play of the top tier, and I don't even know how much you want to pay 4,600 for him. You know he can get 4 hits,
Yeah.
right? That's what you know. But I don't think there's anything else I would truthfully get to before Santana Kirilloff. Probably one of the Minnesota first basemen. But even Kirilloff's in a big slump. Santana's been pretty good lately.
Yeah.
914 OPS over his last 10 games, $3,800. So that'd probably be the first spot I'd really, really be interested.
It amazes me that Carlos Santana is always hitting 200 with an under 700 OPS. I feel like every time we look at him, his last 10 games has him hitting 300 with a 900 OPS. At some point, he's going cold, and we're just missing it, I guess, or he's on not on main slates, so we just catch him when he's hot here. You had mentioned Justin Turner had started to come around. He's still kind of hitting the ball well, so if you wanted to go there, $3,700, you could. Gavin Sheets, you mentioned a little home run power, but not much else down here for me at the first base position. Over at second base here, you have Altuve at 51. Again, this is only a 6-game slate, so the spend-up options will be a bit limited here for this one. So Altuve could maybe be a popular option with a lefty on the mound and Harrison at 5,100.
Yeah, I expect him to be pretty popular, I'd say. It's not obviously a good ballpark. Obviously, a lot of respect towards Kyle Harrison's ceiling, but Altuve, longtime lefty masher. Just the other night, the 4 for 5 came against Tyler Anderson starting. So I like Altuve quite.
Yep, I like him. I could go Terang, obviously, if you like Brewers against Berrios. Cronenworth gets Estes there at 43 also. Pretty strong start. They gave Willie Castro second base eligibility for this slate. You and I like Minnesota. We don't need to harp on that. We're Twins stands here. So if you wanted to fit him in there, you certainly could do it. IKF against Colin Ray at $3,400. Someone that we keep playing for some value. Anybody? RIP our guy.
I saw
Kevin Mitchell, DFA.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen, right?
Yeah, that was
long live.
That was coming.
Yeah. What else? What else are you looking at here at a second?
Everything you mentioned is.
I rattled off 10 guys. I realize. I wasn't sure there's anything to add to any of the guys that I mentioned.
No, I mean but I actually just like the 3 guys truthfully above 4K.
Okay.
Altuve, Terang, minus Schneider. Altuve, Terang, Cronenworth. I think those 3. Estes has been good, but lefty power has been giving him problems
Sure.
in the small sample. So, And we've seen Cronenworth had a big day the other day when they scored a bajillion runs
Yeah,
on Saturday, and I think he's coming around.
agreed. Third base, your guy Royce Lewis there, $5,900. Vladdy still got the third base eligibility. Michael Garcia is too expensive and not a great matchup at 49 for him. McMahon, if you weren't in on Paddock, we've talked about McMahon and the weird splits for him. Finally starting to even off. He's just not great everywhere, but still better on the road than he's been on the at home this year. So if you want to go there, you could.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I'd say is we have to wait and see. Basically, with everyone else above 4K,
Yeah.
but Bregman left Sunday's game for the second time in like 3 games. This time it was a wrist. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he was hit there. We'll see. Doesn't sound like a thing that he would return to the next day.
Right.
Machado was out of the lineup for Sunday with a hip. Manny
Yep.
Machado's been really good of late. Another like part of this Padres like recent stretch offense, but he has also missed a couple days. So we'll see if 4 straight games now. We'll see if he's in the lineup coming out of a 4-day absence. Seems like maybe a retroactive IL stint coming from Manny Machado. And then Matt Chapman, also another guy, had a hamstring, not in the lineup. I mean, we don't know anything else. I would say Royce Lewis is the top guy there, and pretty much everything else is like TBD at this point in time.
I would agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, there's some value plays down here that we've talked about. If you want to go ahead and plug in, depending on where your stacks go for some value, but largely again a spot maybe we're looking to spend up. Shortstop again, Witt versus Rodon's a tough matchup probably for both. So you could be different and go Bobby Witt if you wanted to. Tovar's been on another one.
Yes.
I read an article basically he eliminated the leg kick that he had in his swing, and it's helped him with his timing, and obviously breakout season for Ezekiel Tovar here. Again, another guy that's just on fire. On the road, so numbers look a little worse than at home in cores, but still, we've seen Paddock have some troubles lately. Maybe that continues here. What are your thoughts at short?
Yeah, I mean, you can always play Bobby Witt. He has been incredible. But the power has obviously come around on him. Power plus speed and everything in between has been Bobby Witt
Yep.
in a nutshell. You can always play Volpe. He gets on base every game. And then, there's obviously power speed combination with him. Tovar has been great. Just needs to strike out a little less. The Adames splits, obviously, this is the matchup. I was just looking at I find this interesting. Barrios has not been a guy who has gotten lefties out in his career. This
Right.
year, he is not getting righties out.
Okay.
Righties hitting 280 against him. Willie Adames against righties, 8 of his 9 home runs. So, at home against a righty, that's the Willie Adames split, right? We've talked about that for
Mhm.
years since he was traded from Tampa. So, I think Adames 44. Pena will hit 4th here. In maybe even depending on where if
Yeah.
Bregman's out, like where he hits, that could be even higher.
Ha-Seong
Hassan
Kim has some
Kim,
power, right?
yeah, dude, he's been awesome. Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
awesome lately.
So you want to ride him at 4K, you can for sure. So some good mid-tier options for us. Again, a slate where there isn't a ton of value. I mean, any names down here that you would give at least a courtesy look to?
How about Adiel Amador for 2K for Colorado? He joined the team ahead of Brendan Rodgers. He's a speed guy.
Okay.
Had a stolen base in his debut. Got called up straight from Double A. He's 21 years old. So if no Rodgers and Amador's in the lineup again, I mean, if you need a
Sure.
punt, he's 2K.
Yep, love it. Outfield, again, top end guys that are here. Judge, we'll see about Soto. Yelich against Barrios. Tatis. Jordan against Harrison. I mentioned Luis Robert with the home run power. Julio gets Fetty here. Favorite spend up here?
That's a loaded question, right?
Sure.
I mean, Aaron Judge does not. It just doesn't matter.
It's 2 more homers on
It just does
Saturday.
not. It just does not matter what the matchup is. Judge is number 1. I mean, you could play any of them. We know how good Jordan's been against lefties, and he's also been amazing in general lately, so you could definitely play Jordan. Tatis has also been amazing lately. I think the Padres are a little bit interesting because they are so talented. They just haven't put anything together this year. Together, except lately. Estes 4.67 ERA, like expected ERA is better, but XFIP is about where it should be 2.47 BABIP. He's getting a little lucky there, so I do think there's some interest in Padres and obviously Yelich. You can play any four of those guys, and I'd be like, yeah, that's solid. Play him.
Sure. Minnesota bats have slumped a little bit. Kepler's cooled off, but he's $4,500. Against Hudson, Varsho gets Colin Ray. Byron Buxton's there. Blackman, if you're not in on Paddock, like again, it's a smaller slate, so the depth we're usually looking for isn't necessarily here. Is there a favorite guy in the 4K range for you?
Jurickson Profar, yeah, Profar for sure.
More Padres. Just running them out.
Yeah, I mean, he continues to be great too. Like he homered again on Sunday. I mean, he's been nails.
It took him a decade, but he was the number one overall prospect.
Literally took him a decade to fulfill the number one overall prospect. Yeah, the prophecy.
Yeah, he was just hurt forever, man. Texas just got gypped. This is never healthy with the Rangers.
And out of position, clearly out of position as well, because they tried him all over the infield.
They did, yeah, but he's been incredible since moving over to the Padres there for sure. Again, under 4K guys in 4K range, Larnage, Verdugo's there. Ramos against Arrighetti at 39.
Yeah.
Dude,
he homered again the other day. He's been a monster.
Yep.
Been a monster.
Under 4K for him.
Houston outfield blanket, like McCormick, Dubois, and Myers. They're all good against lefties.
Yep. I'm in. Jolks gets Gilbert there at 36. Luke Raley, some power there against Fetty if you're not there at 35. Jackson Merrill against Estes. I'm trying to see anything else sticking out to me there. Not really. What's these Shrimpsy been up to? Anything? Nope. Did homer the other day.
Renfro, if you want to put potential cheap home run, he's been pretty good lately.
Yeah, he's been really good. We called him out the other day in our little stack that we had going on there, or me and Bender. Sorry, I had him in a lineup build as a little punt play.
Pretty good
going on there. Yep. All right, let's do this. Let's build something. Pitching wise, where are we starting?
I mean, Paddock probably SV2, and then it just between probably Cease Gilbert, right? Where do we want to go? Probably Gilbert's matchup, but I think Cease obviously has the more strikeout appeal of the two.
And we like Padres offense, right? So there's some win there. All right, let's do Paddock and Cease. We'll punt Packer.
Yeah, you want to do Diaz or
yeah, that works. All right, let's get our Padres in here. I'll just click on their name and we'll work our way through. Like Profar at 42.
For sure.
What else did you want to plug in from this team here? Tatis.
Cronenworth, probably second base, 43.
Cronenworth. Can we fit Tatis? That'd be his 37. So we did a 3-man stack. We need another value play down here.
We have some Astros outfield. If we need.
Did they call up Loberfido? They did.
He's just lefty.
Lefty. Yeah.
They'll play Dubois as an 800 OPS against lefties. Myers.
Yeah, Dubois works for me. 3K. 4K left, third, short, and outfield. Let's see. Third.
Carlos Santana first? Or
yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good value there. Santana, 38. Shortstop and third base, 4K a play. It's got Ha-Seong Kim. We'll just keep the Padres stack going there. And then third base, 41. I don't know. Would you rather Rojas, IKF, more?
Or Joey Ortiz, who's been pretty good on the year.
Yeah, that works. I'm good. I'm indifferent, so that plays. Paddock, Cease, Diaz, Santana, Cronenworth, Ortiz, Kim, Profar, Tatis, and Dubon. $400 left over for everybody. Again, you can go down to Gilbert to save yourself some more cash. You can move these things around, but just an example lineup. Again, James will be on the playbook. We'll be back live 5 p.m. Eastern time, everybody. Until then, we'll catch you all later.